Okay, everybody. Sorry for the late delay, but we had some technical issues. It is Wednesday, it's December 28th. I'd like to open this regular town board meeting by first asking everybody to please rise and say a pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Anybody mind if I skip over to public comments and go right into this? All right. We're going to start right off with a presentation on the ARP fundings. It's a town-sponsored small business and nonprofit marketing plan that we voted on and initiated, and we've gotten into, hoping to bring some good things to our town. I'd like to welcome Mary Cronin and Jen Bannon. We have them on our screens in a Zoom session, but you at home and those of you here will see the presentation that they're going to give us. So ladies, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Jennifer Bannon. I'm here with my colleague Mary Cronin. We're going to take you through this presentation of the work we've done to date for the town of Dover. Supervisor, if you want to just go to the next slide. So, as mentioned, our agency, Honest Creative, was hired to develop a small business and nonprofit marketing, branding, and economic recovery plan. This started in June of 2022, and there were two phases, the first of which was included an online survey, stakeholder interview, and competitive review. And phase two was consisted of a campaign creation, messaging and tagline, and advertising sample layouts. From our research, if you want to just go down to the next slide, we're going to just take you through some of the key takeaways from the interviews and the survey.
So essentially, hi, I'm Mary Cronin with Honest Creative. Essentially, as Jen mentioned, our key information sources were in-depth interviews with town leadership, local real estate experts. We also handled a survey with local business owners, leaders in the not-for-profit sector, and then we did a competitive review of surrounding towns, municipalities. And essentially, there were some key takeaways, some universal opinions that were used to inform our campaign direction and our strategies moving forward. Essentially, there was agreement that the town of Dover's leadership is very committed to inspiring a renaissance in the town, really improving quality of life for its residents, and then helping its local businesses thrive, and also working hard to attract new businesses to the town that will enhance quality of life. A promotional campaign, we determined, can really connect the stories of business success that already exist in the town of Dover, can highlight the great small town life that's available, the wonderful rich history of Dover, and the natural beauty that's in the area. So the goal of the campaign for us was really to instill this sense of civic pride and promote the current businesses that are thriving there and use that as a way to attract new residences and businesses to Dover. Another key part of this was looking at community events and how those could be used to engage locals in Dover again, really giving a sense of spirit and community, and then also giving local businesses a promotional platform that they could then use to attract visitors from nearby towns and throughout the Hudson Valley, and to engage local people in Dover with the local businesses as well. We also determined through our stakeholder interviews and our survey that it's really critical for the town moving forward to really thoughtfully strategize the future of business growth in Dover, creating a target list building out compelling outreach materials so that whenever businesses are interested in coming to the town, they have resources that really highlight the strengths of doing business in Dover. And then also working with local experts to help realize the vision for the town's future. The town and businesses and nonprofits also could benefit greatly from working more closely together and collaborating. There seems to be a strong sense that that's something everybody's willing and interested in doing, and just develop and implement shared goals for economic recovery moving forward.
So from these key takeaways and our research findings, we developed a creative campaign brief, which is on the next slide, which we use to kind of use as like a footprint and direction for the campaign that we're creating. So the objective for the creative campaign was to create a promotional campaign for the town of Dover that increases awareness and drives sales for existing businesses, highlights the benefits of doing business in Dover to prospective new companies looking to start or relocate, and repositions the town as a desirable leisure and business destination. The audience that the campaign will be reaching are Dover residents, residents of the surrounding towns, tourists, day trippers, and prospective businesses. The campaign tone was determined to be friendly, welcoming, authentic, and smart. And deliverables were messaging, tagline, and visual assets that consisted of consumer and business layouts for print, digital, and social platforms, and a shop or buy local stamp or template that we could give to local businesses to use to promote their own advertising efforts. We go down to the next slide. The creative campaign that was approved has a tagline, "Grow with Us." The concept of this campaign was to position Dover as a Hudson Valley town that's poised and ready for growth. It's inspirational and aspirational and invites both consumers and businesses to grow in new and unexpected ways in Dover's. For the consumer advertising and messaging, we can spotlight the unique charms of small town living, close-knit families, community that has each other's back, and a simpler way of life that many are seeking. The campaign has a warm, welcoming, and charming reminders of the great things to do in Dover and the benefits that Dover offers to residents and visitors. For businesses, the campaign underscores how Dover's business-friendly environment is committed to helping current businesses grow and how it will help new businesses thrive. On the next slide, we show what these advertising layouts will look like. This first slide shows consumer advertising. On the left, you see a sample print advertisement. The headline being "A place to put down roots, family, community, simplicity, natural beauty, and history." In Dover, there's plenty of space to grow your family, your ties to community, your connection to earth, and the history of small town living, small town Hudson Valley living. On the left-hand side, you see an example of what a social post may look like, and then in the top right corner, you see this "Grow with Us Dover" stamp kind of logo that could be used, as a decal in area businesses or on other communication and advertising for not just the town of Dover, but for the businesses that already exist here. And then on the next slide, you see the business sample of this. There would be multiple different headlines and testimonials that can go within it, but just giving you a sample of one. Again, the line, "A place to put down roots," but talking about the roots for your business, and then being highlighted by a local business that's already in Dover. In Dover, we nurture, the copy reads, "In Dover, we nurture success powered by a pro-business environment, 2 major thoroughfares, easy access to Metro North, and diverse development opportunities. Come join our growing business community." And then on the right-hand side of this page, you just see another example of what a social media testimonial could look like from the business standpoint. So that was the approved direction for the marketing campaign. kind of taking everything that we found through our research and putting it into a creative format.
And the thing about the campaign is that it really works well. It provides one umbrella to appeal to consumers and to businesses under one consistent theme. It really has a strong environmental focus, which is, so appealing to people today. And it also touches into, without over-promising, the things that are readily available in Dover today, and it really keys into, the natural scenic beauty, which again and again in all of our stakeholder interviews and the survey is something that everybody universally was very, very proud of and really wanted to highlight.
Absolutely. Any questions? Councilman Maluta?
No, it looks good.
Murphy?
Nope, good job.
Councilwoman Jackson?
I like the logo. I like that it included Dover, New York, because there's often a lot of confusion.
That's true. Deputy?
I'm good.
Madam Clerk, you want to say anything? You had a big
Sure.
part of this.
Yeah. So I think our next step going into the new year, from the online survey with businesses and nonprofits, there was a clear preference to start a business and nonprofit leadership association in town. Not a chamber of commerce, not to compete with ones that might be regional or, even further that people belong to. But 95% of the respondents said that they felt that they would participate in a business association, and they also wanted events where they could profile and network with other businesses. So starting in 2023, that'll be the town's next step to try to bring businesses together for some chance to talk more about this, how to implement it, maybe create some kind of signature events that we have in town that begin to recruit people from other towns to come to Dover, and maybe some further study into vacant buildings and ways that we can reach out to potential businesses to bring them into town. So I think now that we have a direction on where we want to invite people to get involved, the next step will be implementing it with the help of the business community and nonprofits, because we have strong business nonprofit connections in both spheres of town. So I thank you very much, Jen and Mary, for your hard work on this, and look forward to what we can do in the next year.
I'd like to reiterate that. I'd like to thank you both with the input that was given all to you and the input that we gave to you from our committee. We put this together, and now it's just a path that we can take and try to make things work and bring some things to this town, along with some other things that we're doing within the town hall right now, and hopefully putting in place in the near future. This should all hopefully come together and nothing but positive. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure working with you all and on this project, and I think this, the work that we were able to do together really is giving you a good foundation for your next steps. And helping making things really happen for Dover. So,
All right. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I wish you
Thank
both
you
a very
all.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Stay
Thanks
safe
again.
and stay healthy. Bye.
Bye.
So stop share, right? And then end. Meeting for all. X out.
Should do.
What's that?
Hit okay.
I can get out.
Sure.
There we go.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you. All right. I'll jump back up one on the agenda. Are there any public comments or questions on agenda items only? If you do, please approach the podium. Seeing nobody approaching the podium, we're going to move on. In order to continue, I'll move to open and continue the public hearing on the final draft of the Town of Dover Comprehensive Plan update. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Deputy Supervisor House, to fall back into the open, continue the public hearing on the comprehensive plan. Are there any comments? Any people signed up to make a comment?
No, sir.
No, sir. Thank you.
We just have to vote to
Chairman?
open.
One last comment. You good?
We just,
I need to open it. I'm sorry.
It was open.
Oh,
It's
just
continued.
kidding.
Yeah, we're just
we
continuing.
don't have to
Yeah,
vote
that's
to
what I
continue?
thought.
Okay.
We received the Dutchess County Planning.
I have a letter I'm going to highlight and read.
I was very pleased with those comments. I think
You want to podium? You want to go to podium?
Absolutely. And we're ready.
Just speak into the mic. That's the one that's given us the issues we're finding out.
Okay, just to reiterate what I was saying before was we received the comments from Dutchess County Planning, and I was very pleased with the comments we received. I think we got a very good review from them, and they basically turned it back over to the town as a matter of local concern.
Yep. I have the letter here, which, if you don't mind, I'll read it for you. This is from Department of Planning and Development. Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development has reviewed the subject referral within the framework of General Municipal Law, Article 12B at 239-L/M. The action, the town is proposing to adopt a comprehensive plan update with associated goals and implementation actions. Some of the comments highlighted were, we commend the committee and the town on the proposed comprehensive plan update that highlights a vision for the town of Dover. This well-written document sets a clear direction for the future and thoroughly addresses both common and unique municipal issues in an organized fashion that can be easily followed to achieve the town's goals. Comments on the proposed plan update are listed in the order as they appear in the document. The town has gone to great lengths to demonstrate their role as an advocate for agriculture, recognizing that the face of agriculture is changing and that diversified and non-traditional operations need community support to survive and thrive as a viable regional industry. In addition, the town has offered a variety of ways to conserve and preserve agriculture within its bounds in this document. We commend the town on their commitment to farming in Dover. We also appreciate the revisions that have been made to the draft goals and action items implementation matrix. We believe the new layout, with the inclusion of completion dates, will be much more effective as a means for tracking progress towards the goals outlined in the plan. As the town is a Greenway Compact member, we are pleased to see that the section on Greenway connections is included in this plan and that several Greenway principles and recommendations are integrated throughout the document. They commented on our maps. It is recommended that each map includes sources for all data used, that every map be reviewed to ensure proper exportation and that all graphics are displaying properly. It is recommended that the proposed land use map be resized to a smaller size to not overwhelm readers who may be viewing the plan on a smaller screen or handheld device. Recommendation is the department recommends that the board rely upon its own study of the facts in the case with due consideration of the above comments. And as Richie commented, their checklist that they did punch back to us, comprehensive master plan, it was checked off that they find this to be a local concern with comments, and by checking this, it basically gives the okay, is the way I understood the conversation today about it. Tom, anything?
Nope, you've summed it up well.
And again, I'll reiterate, I discussed today with the county planning that any of the recommendations, certain word changes would be done in the very final draft next week or the week after the holiday. And they understood that. So with that, I thank you once again. I appreciate the committee's work. But if there are no other comments, I will move to close this public hearing. Do I have a second? Motion's been made by myself and seconded by Deputy Supervisor House to close the public hearing on the comprehensive plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Public hearing is now closed.
Good job, Rich.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll go right into reports. Or would you want to keep it going, council?
No, you can go into reports.
Okay. Reports of Recreation Department Highway Superintendent. I have to say, we don't have a report from Julie at this time. due to personal reasons. Whatever she has to report, we will submit in writing and try to get them into the minutes. But we do have a written report from our highway superintendent. Andrew?
From Jason Sartori, Highway Superintendent. The Town of Dover Highway Department was busy in the beginning of December finishing up the grading of dirt roads. We've also been cutting back brush and trees on some local roads. We will continue to cut back brush as long as the weather permits. The second half of December, the Highway Department has been sanding and salting roads due to a few storms. We've also been doing maintenance on all of our equipment. Jason would like to thank Joe, the mechanic, for his dedication for keeping the equipment running, and the rest of his team for continuing their hard work. Thank you and have a happy new year. Jason Sartori.
Thank you, Andrew. Reports from the board members. Councilman Maluta.
I just got that I want to give a huge thanks to everybody in the community and outside that stopped by at the American Legion on December 14th for our Toys for Tots drive. It was a major success. They actually we went over and above what any community, I think, did. It was amazing how many toys got dropped off, books and everything. So I just want to give a huge thank you and Happy New Year, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you, Jan. Councilman Murphy.
Excuse me. It was a great night at the tree lighting. Thank you, everyone that came out and enjoyed it. Also, with a small report from Recreation is when the kids come back to school, just make sure that they are sharing with you the basketball programs and some of the spring programs that will be upcoming. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jay. Councilwoman Jackson.
Nothing to report.
Deputy Supervisor House.
Great job on the holiday lighting. That was a really nice night. The kids loved it. Rich, you're the hardest working guy in every room that you probably walk into. I really appreciate all you did on this comprehensive plan, you and your committee. That was a real undertaking. You've got countless hours into this that you could have been with your family, and you spent here with us, helping us. And we really, truly appreciate that. Thank you.
And the fact that you had your staff on that committee, and that's real big. I got to thank Pete. I missed him in the crowd last time you were here, and I apologize once again. But letting Pete do what he did for us in this town alongside of you, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. All right, report of the supervisor. I'm going to start right off with the big one. The storm that was Thursday through Saturday and some Sunday. The winds, the rains, and the lower temperatures, and the power loss that we had for days. I myself started at 5 a.m. Friday, not only losing the power, but answering the cell phone. We were on the go from 5 a.m. on. I didn't stop until late Saturday afternoon. I did a midnight shift, and I came right back to it Christmas morning. I did hear from Miss Tompkins. They received power about 9:30 Christmas morning. They actually saw the crew working on the transformer down the road from their development. So right through Sunday, we had power out. I dealt with multiple calls with NYSEG, both highway, town, and county highway crews. If I didn't talk to our representative a dozen times, it wasn't any. At one point in time, they estimated a power outage of over 10,000 in the Brewster Division, and at one time, I was given a number that the town of Dover had over 4,400 of them. So we were almost half of their total outages. I didn't receive one request. We were able to get some locations. They weren't the best. We had heat, we had power. We didn't have water, but we had heat and we had power. I did not receive one request. I was not called by any board member or any other elected official or staff. So I would have to say, I would assume that everybody was good, that they found a location to keep warm, or they had whatever necessities they needed to keep warm at their own home. Again, we communicated through cell phone, which we were very lucky that we didn't lose. Text messages between myself and Jason, town board members, mass texts to everybody, giving everybody the update. We didn't have power here at the town hall or any kind of phone service until after Saturday. But we made it through it. I don't know if we've had worse. This made it much worse because of the weather, and then the drop in 40 degrees in the temperatures. Saturday, Friday into Saturday. Again, we did all we could. We were getting power back as it came on. My big focal point is if you have the generators, I had a few cases where they just didn't know how to utilize them. I helped the family out. They froze up. They got it all cleared up. They're good, but not so much for their neighbors. They didn't have it. And, it rained from the attic right to the basement in their house because their pipes burst. And I feel for them. But, I had the one space heater, and I brought it to those who requested it. And we did what we could. But again, we didn't receive any calls, which I'm going to take as a good thing. But we were working. And I know it's frustrating, and I know we're frustrated every big storm with New York State Electric and Gas. I will give them one thing right now, and I cannot thank them crews enough for the work that they put in, the weather that they faced, and being here over the weekend and working through Christmas weekend and on the holiday itself and through Monday. They kept working, and I've got to thank them for that, and I appreciate that, and I commend them for that. And I was talking to crews and our representative Christmas Day, and they were working. They continued to work to do what they can. All right, so I'll leave it at that. We got through it, and that's all I can say right now. It was a rough 4 days. I hope people were able to enjoy Christmas Day, and we'll end with that. I got to thank JLS Electric and his crew and anybody else throughout the town that contributed to the Christmas lights up and down Route 22. I got to thank all the residents. I did my annual tour. I started that a few years ago, and I post pictures. Not every one I take, but I post a lot of pictures throughout the town of Wingdale and Dover and the decorated houses. And even though we had a rough weekend, just the Christmas spirit was out there, and I appreciate everybody that put the time and the work in. Again, I thank Jeff for contributing to the trees up and down the road, and everybody else that contributed. There's many. I hope everyone, again, had a good Christmas Day. Please remember that the town hall is closed on Monday, January 2nd, in observance of New Year's Day. Continue to watch for any of my updates, especially this time of year with the weather, that are put out on our website, my social media in particular, and I share the ones to the local town pages and the administrators. And Jill, I thank you as an administrator on one of those pages for getting the word out for us. I appreciate that. And with that, Tom, we'll bring this up while I'm in my report. We are still looking into, we haven't forgotten about the request to look into a moratorium on power-type facilities and stations. It wasn't a cut and dry as easy as people thought it was. We're still looking into that, Tom, because of the public service issues is why we have to go a few extra steps than like the last one we did.
Yeah, I think it could potentially be accomplished, but there'll have to be carve-out language for public utilities, emergency repairs, so on and so forth. But we're still researching it.
I was asked just the other day, and it reminded me to bring it up tonight, how come we didn't do it? Well, that's the reason. It's not as easy as the solar moratorium that we did. Okay, there's public surface facilities and so on that we have to, like Tommy said, certain language has to be there, but it's on our table.
Yeah, there's certain utilities that the town doesn't have jurisdiction over.
Correct.
That's federally regulated that we can't impose a moratorium on.
Okay, and with that, I want to wish everybody a very happy new year. Let's hope we go into it in a better note than we went into the holiday before. And let's hope 2023 is both successful and healthy for each and everybody. Jill, let's say something. I'm going to say it when we do the resolution. Anybody else? We good?
No, Rich, I just want to add to generators. Make sure your generator, if you do have a generator, know how long it's going to run on a tank of fuel so you don't run out in the middle of the night. Know what you're doing with the generator. If not, there are plenty of people out there that can help you recognize what you have in a generator, what it can handle, what the load it can handle, and all that other stuff. So just be mindful when you get a generator. It's not just a plug and play kind of thing. You should know more about your generator. So seek a qualified electrician or somebody that knows about the generator, and be safe with it. Keep the exhaust away from window. You can't fire it up in the house. That doesn't work. And just know that it's an assisted thing to help you get through a storm or a power outage. And that's all I got.
Necessities, heat, water. I went to a house that was not hooked into their heat, but they had lights. You got to prioritize some things, or have a licensed, qualified electrician hook it into it for you. All right, resolutions. Resolution to authorize and approve the consent agenda items. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby approve the following items for consideration and adoption on the December 28th, 2022 Town Board regular meeting consent agenda. Authorize the payment of abstract number 12 of 2022. They didn't write the amount in. You have the amount, Tom?
It's right there.
180.
On the screen.
188,061.85.
All right, they didn't write it in for me. Authorize the payment of abstract number 12 of 2022 in the amount of $188,061.85. Accept minutes of the Town Board meetings of November 30th, 2022, special meetings of December 7th, 2022, and December 14th of 2022. Approve the Town Clerk's report for November 2022. Approve Town Supervisor's monthly financial report for November of 2022. Authorize budget transfers, budget amendments, and payment of off-abstract purchase orders as prepared and submitted by the town's bookkeeper. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Resolution adopting the draft Phase 2 of the Town of Dover American Rescue Plan Act project plan. Whereas in July of 2021, the Town of Dover received the first payment of funds allocated through the federal government's American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, and whereas the purpose of the funds is to provide financial and community support relief to the Town of Dover government, along with its residents, businesses, and nonprofit organizations to help ameliorate the negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, and whereas the ARPA funds are limited by federal legislation as to what the funds can be used for and include infrastructure improvements, municipal budget stabilization, assistance to business and nonprofit organizations, and services to build strong neighborhoods. And whereas municipalities that receive ARPA funds are required to provide documentation that funds are used for eligible purposes and to submit quarterly reports and to formulate a plan for how the ARPA funds shall be distributed. And whereas in December of 2021, the Town of Dover adopted Phase 1 of the ARPA project plan. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby adopt draft Phase 2 of the Town of Dover ARPA plan as attached hereto and made a part of this resolution, a copy of which shall be kept on file in the office of the Town Clerk. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by House, seconded by Murphy. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute service agreement with Optimum. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby authorize the town supervisor to execute a service agreement with Optimum for the new phone system upgrade for the Town of Dover. And be it further resolved that the copy of the fully executed agreement with Optimum shall be kept on file in the office of the Town Clerk. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Jackson, seconded by Murphy. Discussion. This is basically continuing on the upgrade, some things that we were unaware of and we didn't think we would need, and we actually do. So that's what this is for the new phone system. Any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Resolution awarding Town of Dover zoning review and update consulting services request for proposal. Whereas the Town of Dover is in the process of adopting an update to its comprehensive plan, and whereas the next phase will be a thorough review and update of the Town of Dover zoning code, and whereas the Town of Dover desires to retain a professional consultant to assist in the review and update of the Town of Dover zoning code, and whereas the Town of Dover advertised for requests for proposals, RFPs, for consulting services to assist the Town of Dover with its review and update of its zoning code. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby award the proposal of,
Barton and Lojudas,
and the fee,
and at the amount of $20,000.
hereby award a proposal of $20,000 to Barton and LaJuice DPC of New Paltz, New York, in the amount of $20,000. That is who, I believe they assisted us on the last, which was a grant-funded one. All right. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by House, seconded by Murphy. Any discussion? This is the next step. Next step in this phase. Anything else? Hearing no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Okay. Resolution adopting seeker negative declaration with regard to the 2022 Comprehensive Plan update. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Dover has considered the proposed updates to the Town of Dover Comprehensive Plan, and whereas adoption of the Comprehensive Plan update is a Type 1 action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQR, 6 NYC RR 917.4B1, and whereas on July 27th, 2022, the Town Board declared its intent to seek lead agency under SEQR and initiated the required coordinated review with involved and interested agencies. And whereas no objections were received from involved agencies after 30 days to the Town Board serving as lead agency, and whereas a public hearing was noticed and took place on December 14th, 2022, to consider adoption of the comprehensive plan and environmental significance of the proposed action. All persons interested in the subject thereof were duly heard, and the public hearing was kept open for further comment until December 28th of 2022. And the Town Board has carefully considered and weighted the input by the public. And whereas pursuant to SEQR, a Part 1 and 2 of the full environmental assessment form, the FEAF, has been completed, and the Board has duly reviewed the FEAF and has considered the criteria contained in 6 NYCRR 617.7C to determine whether the proposed action will have a significant impact on the environment, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby determine that the proposed adoption of the comprehensive plan will not have a significant and adverse impact on the environment, that the Town Board adopts the findings and the conclusion relating to probable environmental impacts contained within the EAF and negative declaration, and authorizes the town supervisor to execute the FEAF and for the town clerk to file a negative declaration in accordance with the applicable provision of law. And be it further resolved that with respect to the proposed adoption of the comprehensive plan, the Town Board, as SEQR lead agency for the review of this Type 1 action, has carefully reviewed the SEQR documents, including the FEAF, and hereby adopts the findings and conclusion relating to probable environmental impacts contained within the aforementioned FEAF, has considered the SEQR criteria and significance set for the in 6 NYCRR 617.7C, and hereby determines to issue the attached negative declaration of environmental significance finding that is no EIS will be prepared for the adoption of the comprehensive plan because the action will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, and the town board authorizes the town supervisor to execute the FEAF and the town clerk to file the negative declaration in accordance with the applicable provisions of law.
Choo.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by House, seconded by Maluda. Discussion. Hearing and seeing no further discussion on this resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Resolution adopting Town of Dover Comprehensive Plan updates. Whereas Section 272-A of the New York State Town Law recognizes the importance of undertaking town comprehensive planning and land use regulations to facilitate the protection, enhancement, growth, and development of the town to promote the health, safety, and general welfare of its citizens. And whereas the town's existing 1993 comprehensive plan has not been updated since its adoption, and whereas in 2010, the town board of the town of Dover established a Master Plan Advisory Committee, MPAC, to make recommendations on what should be changed in the 1993 Dover Master Plan. And whereas the committee was later renamed the Dover Comprehensive Plan Update Committee, and Richard Renia Jr. was named chairperson, and whereas the town board recognizes the comprehensive plan provides an essential foundation for guiding future development, and whereas the town's planning process to update the comprehensive plan has included a review of past planning efforts, analysis of existing conditions and resources, and public engagement. And whereas the town prepared a draft comprehensive plan amendment, the plan, and whereas the Dover Comprehensive Plan Update Committee held a public forum on the draft plan on December 1, 2021, and a second public forum was held on February 16, 2022. And whereas the town referred the draft comprehensive plan amendment to the Dutchess County Planning Department for review, as required by Section 239M of the General Municipal Law. Whereas pursuant to Town Law 272.A9, the town has taken into consideration any applicable county agricultural and farmland protection plans as created under Article 25 AAA of the New York State Agricultural and Market Law. Whereas the town board held a public hearing to solicit public comment on the draft comprehensive plan amendment as required by the New York State Town Law 272-A, which remained open from December 14th, 2022 to December 28th, 2022. And whereas the town board has declared itself lead agency and issued a secret negative declaration per 6 NY-CRR Part 617, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby adopt the proposed comprehensive plan amendment, and be it further resolved that the plan shall be filed in the office of the town clerk, and a copy thereof be filed with the Dutchess County Planning Department as required by Town Law 272-A12. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Council should, do I need to call the roll on that because it's a change? No?
You could call, it's not a local law, but you could call the roll.
Okay.
It's up to the board.
No, we can do any discussion? Do I have a motion? Sorry.
So moved.
Brought by Maluda. Do I have a second? Seconded by Jackson. Discussion.
With the amendments from the county? This
Yes.
is adopted with the amendments?
It will be, yes.
Okay.
As I stated earlier with the
Yes.
presentation from Rich, the few minor changes
Yeah.
that we discussed today, I believe council also was in contact with that department. It's typing.
They're minor.
Some
I know,
wordage,
yeah.
yep. For discussion, though, I'm going to say it again. Rich, thank you. We put that committee together, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again. We put that together in February of 2020, and then we know what happened in March. And you guys didn't get together until around August, September timeframe, and then you met twice a month until now, basically. It slowed down a month or two ago because now we were in the process of public hearings and being reviewed by county planning. But I got to thank you. I got to thank Pete Sander. I got to thank Marilyn for taking care of a lot of the typing here during this, and the entire committee. Val, Dave Wylock, Steve Vincent, Deborah, I know I'm missing one or two, Ian in the beginning. But I got to thank each and every one of you. This was a task that was handed to you in 2020, and you wanted it, you took it by the horns, and here we are tonight. And I can't say thank you enough on our behalf. Any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Congratulations, everybody. That's a big thing right there. 1993. Wow. Okay. All right, at this point in time, are there any public comments from the people here tonight? If you do, please approach the podium.
Good evening, Jill Fieldstein, 39 Northeast Mountain Road. Question about power. Is there any way to be proactive and work with them to clear power lines, clear trees from power lines before a storm happens?
We have been in discussion with that every time I meet them every year. I have anyway, the last 3 years. That is the biggest and most talked about topic at that meeting. And what they will tell you is they contract the tree companies. They are only allowed to go so far either side of their lines. And you'll be surprised on how many people actually say no, don't go any further off the right of way. It is a hot topic. It will be another hot topic. I have a supervisor and mayor's meeting Tuesday night. It will be discussed because it's already been said that it will be discussed once again. Myself and the Pauling supervisor kind of had a discussion, I'll say, the other night. And we agreed on most of it and we disagreed on some of it. And I only disagreed on it because my phone was answered every time I called. And that was a disagreement we had. But it is a hot topic, Jill. I have never seen anything different. They'll tell you we contract out to Tree Company A, and that's what they do. And it's a very basic contract. And our big thing is we want the contracts beefed up. We want them wider. We want the counties, and this is a sore subject, and of course, you know where I work, I have to be careful, but we want the counties to not stop at their right-of-way, but if it hangs over the right-of-way, to take it. Well, they don't measure what hangs over, they measure the base. So if the base isn't in the county right-of-way, the tree crews don't take it down either. And I voiced my opinion on that. Whatever, I put on my other hat after hours. So it's a hot topic, and I could tell you it's going to be discussed again. I do know in the very near future, and of course it's a new year coming, we'll have our yearly meeting with NYSEG, and I'll assure you that it will be brought up again because it is an issue. It is a definite issue. The other issue we have is so many of our lines travel through the mountains from Quaker Hill north. And that's a problem because when something does happen up there, they can't get to it. They have to ship in equipment, and I believe that was part of an issue here. So, if that answers your question, I'm sorry.
It does answer. Is there anything that we as consumers?
Yeah, you can call and you can write in and you can voice your complaint. Especially when you see the amount of wood that's on our shoulders just on this old 22 alone. And that's where we had 2, if not 3 issues. The big issue is right down the road. And it always happens in that area around J&J. And there's a lot of dead trees that are not in the county right away. And it's already so far away from the lines. And no county, no town are going to cut any trees that are even near lines. We can't be within 15 feet of it, I believe, is our measurement. So, but I assure you, it will be brought up. And if I can obtain the minutes, I'll get them to you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And one other question about the,
Can you just speak into the mic?
question about the moratorium on power companies. Well, thank you, and it's good to know that that's on the table. I was wondering if you can give any more guidance on what is under the town's jurisdiction and what isn't, what type of projects are and what aren't. Can you give any guidance at all on that?
Well, the recommendation is to do all power-type facilities, and we're still dissecting what we can actually put on paper. So at this point in time, I don't have a definite answer for you. We are doing the homework into power-type facilities and projects, and we're still looking into federal, local, and state, Tom?
Correct.
It's not off our table. You can tell those who think it is, it's not.
Okay.
All right?
Any timeline?
No. We're hoping next meeting, but we can't be sure that way.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
There was a pretty large initiative in regards to the tree trimming, though, in 2020 through 22. What are the white and red trucks?
Lewis.
I had to sign a bunch of waivers for my properties. They were up and down 22.
Yep. But you were one that would sign a waiver, and then there's 10 others that say, no, don't cut that tree because it's mine.
Well, yeah. Well, they ruined a tree in the front of my property.
Exactly.
And it cost me
And that's what people
$1,000 to
see.
get it taken down, yeah.
And that's the biggest complaint, is you ruined my beautiful tree.
Yeah.
You know, you shaved off half of a beautiful big spruce, or big, you know. So, you know, it's a no-win. It really is. All I know, it's been a long damn week. I will like to say, only because I've got some friends that not only live up in the area, but I've got some friends from work that we shipped up. Please keep the people of Buffalo and the surrounding areas in your thoughts and prayers, please. What they're finding and what they've lost and what they've been through in the last 2 storms in a row. You know, the toll, you know, God bless them all, but the toll keeps rising. And the county just shipped some equipment and 8 guys up there. And they don't even know where they're going. They're going up there and they're going to be told, this is what you're doing. So, you know, keep everybody in mind up there. They're going to get through it just like they always do. And we'll go from there. I do have a reason for an executive session, but if it's okay, Tom, I'd like to just do it after the next meeting. Is that okay?
That's fine. You could have an exec
Might
after
as
the
well,
next.
I don't want to do it now and then have to come back. Okay? So at this point in time, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the regular meeting and take a short five-minute recess and come back for our 2023 reorganizational meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself and seconded by Deputy Supervisor House to adjourn this meeting and come back in about 5 minutes or so and re-adjourn and hold a special reorganizational meeting for the year of 2023. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thank you. Go ahead, Marilyn. You got to walk across. Okay, everybody, once again, it is Wednesday, December 28th. The time is 7:35. I'd like to call this special meeting, Town Board Organizational Meeting, to order by asking once again to please rise and say a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this meeting's a lot of reading. I'm sorry, you got it? I'll start off with Town Board Liaison Assignments. I don't believe there's any changes other than the date, but Supervisor Richard Gino, all departments, all municipal functions, all boards and committees, all town organizations, JHK Hose Company, Northern Dutchess Paramedics Ambulance Service, and all elected and appointed officials. Deputy Supervisor Andrew House, if accepted later. Departments, IT with the staff in the supervisor's office and the town clerk and our highway department. Municipal functions is going to be the D Fund. Community organizations, Stone Church, JHK Memorial Park, Boyce Park, and Comprehensive Plan with the supervisor. Elected officials, Highway Superintendent, Town Justices with myself, the supervisor. Councilwoman Jackson, departments, Assessor's Office, Media Department with the town clerk. Municipal function, A Fund. Community organizations, Dover Union Free School District, the school board, Dover Library, Town Cleanup Day with Supervisor and Councilman Maluta. Elected officials, the tax collector, the town clerk with Councilman Murphy. Councilman Jay Murphy. Departments, Recreation Department, Recreation Commission, Planning and Zoning Boards, Building Department with myself. Municipal function, A Fund. Community Parks and Events, Dover Day with Recreation Department and the committee. JHK and Boyce Parks with Deputy Supervisor House. Elected officials, the town clerk with Councilwoman Jackson. Councilman Maluta, departments, Highway with Deputy Supervisor House, constables, dog control officer. Municipal function is the D Fund. Community organizations, the VFW and the American Legion. Elected officials, Highway Superintendent with Deputy Supervisor House. The supervisor and the town clerk will serve as liaisons to the Harlan Valley Appalachian Trail community and the Conservation Advisory Council. With these assignments, I will request a short report, if have one, each month at our regular meetings. The Highway Superintendent and Recreation Director will also be asked for monthly reports. In the absence of the Highway Superintendent or Rec Director, the assigned board member will be asked to present the report for them in their absence. Supervisors' resolutions and appointments. Authorized positions and appointments of the town supervisor, town highway superintendent, and the town clerk. Whereas the 2023 Town of Dover adopted budget contains the positions of deputy supervisor and confidential secretary for 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the Town of Dover hereby authorizes the positions of deputy supervisor and confidential secretary in the Town of Dover for 2023. The deputy supervisor shall be Andrew House. The confidential secretary shall be Lizette Martinez. The budget officer shall be myself, Richard Yino. The town historian shall be Caroline Reichenberg and Valerie LaRobadier. The town clerk, Katie Palmer House, appoints Bonnie Franks as deputy town clerk. Highway Superintendent Jason Sartori appoints Teresa Jacopino as assistant to Highway Superintendent. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Maluta, seconded by Jackson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Appoint Town of Dover consultants for 2023. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby names the following Town of Dover consultants for 2023. Joe Berger, Town Engineer. Thomas Jacobellis, Esquire, and Hogan and Rossi, Town Council. AKRF Incorporated, Town Planner, and RBT CPAs LLP for the Town Accountant. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Brought by House, seconded by Murphy. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Authorize necessary town officials for 2023. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby appoints the following necessary Town of Dover officials for 2023. Accountant Clerk Tracy Anderson. Assessor's Clerk Carolyn Lasher. Budget Assistant Nicole Scaramuzzo. Building Inspector Don Anderson. Building Secretary Kelly Fusco. Claims Clerk Bonnie Franks. Code Enforcement Officer Paul Johnston. Constables Jason Robert Dean. Susan Fundaro. Dwayne Jackson. Brett Johnson. Francis Lansing. Amelia Pacone. Steve Wodrowska. Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics Tracy Anderson. Dog Control Officer Brett Johnson. DTV Clerk Natalia Orta. Justice Court Clerks Helen Abrams, Angela Fusco. Records Management Officer, skipped one. Purchasing Clerk Lizette Martinez. Records Management Officer Catherine Palmer House. Recreation Assistant Dodie Grispin. Recreation Secretary Paula Holmes. Recreation Activities Specialist Julie Muncie. Registrar of Vital Statistics Bonnie Franks. Secretary to the Planning Board Marilyn Van Millen. Secretary to the Zoning Board of Appeals Marilyn Van Millen. Zoning Administrator Don Anderson. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by House, seconded by Maluta. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Appoint board and committee chairpersons and members for 2023. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby reappoints Ryan Cortine as chairperson of the Town of Dover Planning Board for 2023. And be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby reappoints Deborah Kaufman as chairperson of the Town of Dover Zoning Board of Appeals for 2023. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby appoints Kevin Katowski as chairperson of the Town of Dover Recreation Commission for 2023. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby appoints Evan Van Hook, chairperson of the Town of Dover Conservation Advisory Council for 2023. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby reappoints the following individuals to the following town boards. Melissa Luthi to the Town of Dover Recreation Commission with a term expiring December 31, 2029. Valerie LaRobediere to the Town of Dover Planning Board with a term expiring December 31, 2029. Walter Grosvenor, Jr. to the Assessment Board of Review with a term expiring September 30th, 2027. And Evan Van Hook, Deborah Kaufman, Gregory Mendenhall, Janet Pickering, Tamar Roman, and Richard Yeno as members of the Conservation Advisory Council and the Town of Dover Climate Smart Dover Task Force for 2023. And Katie Palmer House, Richard Yeno, Bonnie Franks, Marilyn Van Millen to the Town of Dover Records Advisory Board for 2023. To the Zoning Board of Appeals, Patrick Orlando to be appointed to a term expiring December 2031 of 2027. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion brought by Maluta, seconded by Murphy. Discussion on any of those appointments? Hearing no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Authorize town supervisor and council persons for the years of 2023. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby authorize the town supervisor to execute the Dover Plains Library referendum in the amount of $275,000. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby authorize the town supervisor to purchase a $250,000 blanket bond for the purpose of covering all employees who collect money, including the town clerk, the bookkeeper, and the town justices. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby authorize the town supervisor to purchase a $500,000 blanket bond for the purpose of covering the tax collector. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby authorize the town supervisor to pay in advance of audit specified bills and contracts including principal and interest on bond anticipation notes, town ambulance EMS contract, gas, water, fuel, electric, telephone, postage, and payments not requiring prior audit but under review, employee payroll deduction payments, planning and zoning board members' contractual payments and disbursements of amounts withheld from employees' pay. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby authorize the town supervisor to sign bank checks when necessary for all town businesses, to authorize Deputy Supervisor Andrew House to sign bank checks when necessary in the absence of the supervisor, to authorize Councilman Murphy to sign bank checks when necessary in the absence of the supervisor and Deputy Supervisor House, to authorize Councilman Maluta to sign bank checks when necessary in the absence of Supervisor, Deputy Supervisor House, Councilman Murphy, and to authorize Councilwoman Jackson to sign bank checks when necessary in the absence of the Supervisor, the Deputy Supervisor House, Councilman Murphy, and Councilman Maluta for the year of 2023. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Brought by House, seconded by Maluta. Tom, do I need to abstain because of the tax collector comment?
No, it's a ministerial
All
action,
good?
so you're good.
Okay, just checking. Any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Set town emergency interim successors. Be it resolved that in the event that Supervisor Richard Yeno is unavailable to sign necessary documents or act on behalf of the town, then Deputy Supervisor Andrew House is hereby authorized to sign or act on behalf of the town. And be it further resolved that Supervisor Yeno and Deputy Supervisor House are unavailable to sign or act on behalf of the town, then Councilman Murphy is authorized to sign and act on behalf of the town of Dover. And be it resolved if Supervisor Yeno, Deputy Supervisor House, and Councilman Murphy are unavailable to sign or act on the behalf of the town, then Councilman Maluta is authorized to sign and act on behalf of the town of Dover. And be it further resolved if Supervisor Yeno, Deputy Supervisor House, Councilman Murphy, and Councilman Maluta are unavailable to sign or act on the behalf of the town, then Councilwoman Jackson is authorized to sign and act on the behalf of the town of Dover. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Brought by Jackson, seconded by Maluta. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Set town schedules and procedures. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Dover hereby sets the town board meeting schedule for the last Wednesday of the month at 6:30 PM at Town Hall, 126 East Duncan Hill Road, Dover Plains, New York. And be it further resolved that meetings by the town board of the town of Dover shall follow modified Roberts Rules of Ordering, including consideration and vote on items presented on a consent agenda. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby authorize the salary payment schedule to be every 2 weeks. And be it further resolved, purchase orders are due every Friday by noon. And be it further resolved, petty cash shall be limited to $250. And be it further resolved, the official depositories of the town of Dover shall be M&T Bank and Salisbury Bank and Trust Company. And be it further resolved, the holiday schedule for the town of Dover shall be according to the Teamster contract for the year 2023. Be it resolved, the salaries and wages for the elected officials shall be as per the adopted town budget for 2023. And be it further resolved, the salaries and wages for the non-members of the local IBT 456 shall be as per the adopted town budget of 2023. Be it further resolved, the salaries and wages of the members of the local 456 shall be as per the town's collective bargaining agreement for the year 2023. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby sets the mileage reimbursement for 2023 in the Town of Dover at 62.5 cents per mile as set by the Internal Revenue Service. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby designates the Poughkeepsie Journal as the official newspaper of the Town of Dover for 2023, and be it further resolved that the Town Clerk of the Town of Dover is hereby authorized to place official publications or notices for the Town of Dover in the official newspaper of the Town of Dover. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Brought by Murphy, seconded by Jackson. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Schedule a public hearing for 2023 Town of Dover fee schedule. Whereas pursuant to the Town of Dover Town Code, Chapter 73, entitled Fees, authorizes the Town Board of the Town of Dover is set the fees for the Town of Dover, and therefore be it resolved that pursuant to Chapter 73 of the Dover Town Code, the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby directs the Town Clerk of the Town of Dover to publish notifications to give public notice for a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, January 25th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as possible to obtain public comment on the proposed 2023 fee schedule for the Town of Dover. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Murphy, seconded by Maluta. Discussion. Discussed with the Secretary of Zoning and Planning today, there will be some discussion on the escrow fees this year due to the slight increases on consultants and council fees for one of the two boards, just so you all know. Okay? Any other discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Upcoming meetings, you heard January 25th. It's our next regular meeting. I'd like to wish everybody a very happy new year. Please stay safe, stay healthy. And at this point in time, I'd like to make a motion that we enter into an executive session to discuss a personnel and a litigation issue, and not return to the dais. Do I have a second?
Second.
Brought by motion made by myself to enter into an executive session and not return to the table. Seconded by Deputy Supervisor House. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a good night. Happy New Year.